Good morning, friends. I hope everybody had a great day yesterday and it continues on into today. I know I did. Today we're going to talk about the time my sister and I decided to peek at our Christmas presents. Was it a good idea? No, it really wasn't. But let's get into it. So, my best friend at the time was bragging about how she and her older brother would always look at their Christmas presents. Well, it never dawned on me to do something like that. I kind of still believed a little bit, to tell you the truth. So I went home and I discussed it with my little sister. And we decided to look because she knew there wasn't a Santa. I think she's the one that actually told me, if you believe it or not. So my mother worked the evening shift. So my dad had fallen asleep on a couch. We decided to go for it, to go look for them. Because we'd never done it before, so we had no idea where they were. So we looked in all the usual hiding spots in the house. They weren't there. And then we thought about our storeroom. We didn't have an attic that you could go into and necessarily put things in, but we had this odd little weird room that they called the storeroom. But it had a lock on it, and we kind of looked at each other. Well, that's a little weird. That's new. Because it always had a latch, but it never had a little padlock on it before. So we looked for a key. We couldn't find a key to that padlock anywhere. Meanwhile, what we didn't know is my mother had it with her at work in her purse. So we went and got a screwdriver and we took the whole latch off because why not? We were into MacGyver. If you know what that is, that'll age me and you. So anyway, we got the whole latch off. So we were able to open the door. Now meanwhile, what we didn't know is that very night while we were breaking into the storeroom to peek at our presents, my mother was at work bragging to everybody that would listen how we never peeked at our presents. We never even attempted to peek at our presents. And because everybody was complaining about their kids peeking and knowing what they got, etc., etc. So, probably simultaneously while she was saying that, we were breaking in to peek. So, we were real nervous because Dad was asleep downstairs, but you never know when he's going to wake up. So there was no light in there, so we had to leave the door open enough with the light in the bedroom because it was off one of the bedrooms to kind of go in there. And we saw this big pile of stuff with a sheet over it. And our hearts, I know my heart was racing, So we go over and we lifted up that sheet. Maybe 10 or 15 seconds. Not long, because all of a sudden we heard Dad cough and move around downstairs. So we put the sheet back on, ran back out, put the door shut, and kind of fixed the lock a little bit, waiting to see, or the latch a little bit to hold it, to see if he was going to come upstairs, which he didn't. So we went ahead and put the latch back on, screwed it back together, got rid of the evidence of the screwdriver, and quizzed each other, what did you see, what did you see, And there were a couple things that I did see as what I wanted was on my list, so I was all excited. So anyhow, we're feeling pretty proud about it. We're really full of ourselves. And we go to bed. And at that time, we shared that room that was where the storeroom was. So we were actually sleeping in a big, like, queen or king size bed. I can't remember. We were sleeping together because my sister's room was cold during the winter time and mine was like right near the air or the heat, because we had heat that rose and they were just ducts. They weren't forced like today. Old-timey. Anyhow, so Mom comes in to check on us. We're sleeping. And the next thing we know, goes over to that door. She flips the light on. And she starts to, I don't know why that's doing that, flip out. And I mean flip out. Starts screaming, why did you peek at your presents? Blah, 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 blah. And we're looking at each other like, how the hell does she know? Sorry, I'm French at times. But how does she know? She's only been in this room under 30 seconds. And we decided to pretend we were asleep. The louder she got, the more we pretended to snore. Well, she knew we were faking it, like any mother would. And I mean, talk about rage. She scared us. She was so angry. And the next thing I know, she's swatting me, because I've turned over on my stomach now so she can't see me. She starts swatting my behind, right? Why she's screaming about us looking at those presents and how we've ruined Christmas and we're not getting anything, and on and on and on and on, And of course she starts swatting me. I start to bawl. Well, my sister's still playing possum and she's over there. But what I didn't know is she had grabbed a book, because we had one of those beds with like the bookshelves and we had books up in there. She grabbed the book and she shoved it down the seat of her PJs and had turned over on her stomach. So my mother was so mad, she starts whacking my sister on the behind and doesn't even realize she's hitting a book. That's how mad she was and out of control she was. I mean, it was awful, and it ends up everybody sobbing. She's sobbing. My dad comes in like, what the heck is going on? She tells him how ungrateful we are that we've peeked at the presents, and he's just looking at her like she's lost her mind, because my dad never, ever spanked us. My mother did, but my dad, I guess, spanked us one time, and then he went up to Grandma and Grandpa's, his parents, and sobbed because he felt so bad. And then he never spanked us again. He'd threatened to, but after the second or third time, you realize he's not going to spank us. We can do what we want. So he was the more lenient parent. So anyway, they leave. We're bawling and, doing the ugly cry and all that. And then we're like whispering about, do you think she's really not going to let us have Christmas? We're not going to get anything, blah, blah, blah. We didn't even hardly see anything, etc., etc., etc. So later to find out, my mother, who bragged and trusted her children so much, she had fixed the lock on that darn door in a certain way, and that's why she knew when she came in and turned on the light to check on us and looked over there right away, she knew somebody had been in there. Later, when we were at school, she'd opened that up, and the woman had flour on the floor, like a whole path of flour leading up to the pile of presents across the storeroom. Right? Oh, it doesn't end there. She had that sheet situated a certain way so she could tell if it had been moved at all or not. And she had something sitting on there real light, and I can't remember if it was a piece of paper or something like that. Well, it wasn't on top of there anymore. So we'd left every indication that we had been in there. What she didn't realize is we hardly saw anything. And I'm telling you, that cured me. Never ever tried to peek again, even as an adult. I'll just wait and be surprised on Christmas Day. And it led to me valuing people's privacy. I never would look in someone's diary. I would never go through their bathroom cabinet. That's another story that I'll share sometime. I would never look at anybody's drawers. You can leave me in your house, and I'm not going to look at anything of yours. I mean, unless it's sitting out or something, I can't help but notice it. So that was our crazy tale of peeking at the Christmas presents. And I would never do that ever again. So I'd like to hear, did you ever peek at your Christmas presents? Did you ever get caught like we did? I'd love to hear your stories, your comments, whatever you'd like to share. So please, like, that's hitting the thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe so we can grow this channel together. I really appreciate each and every one of you that look at my video, even if it's for a minute. I really do. So, have fun this holiday season, no matter what you believe and what you worship. But remember to be kind to yourself and be kind to others, because it doesn't cost you a thing and it only takes a moment. And don't forget to hit the little notification bell so you don't miss another one of my videos. Whoop! Bye-bye, friends.